I think that the case of Tarrou, and we're going to look at Tarrou and Rieux, are very bound up, right, in the same idea, right? Tarrou and Rieux have spent time together, right? They have become good friends. They have shared confidences with each other. Rieux described the reason he wanted to become a doctor, right, to Tarrou because he believed that in so doing, right, he was following a path that he really truly believed in, right, that he needed to be able to work with people, to help, right? And Tarrou, is, a complicated figure as well, who has described wanting to become a saint, right? Not that he's particularly religious, but that he feels like that is a goal, right? To become the best version of the person that you could possibly be. And so when Tarrou becomes ill, as the plague is ending, right? As the plague numbers are descending, as the gates are going to be opened, right? It's this last burst of plague that claims victims. I think one of the things that Camus is reminding us of is that, as life continues, it's not going to be fair, right? That this is that leap of faith that we have made that does not work out, right? And that for some people, right, they are perfectly fine. For others, they are not. Rieux feels very concerned when Tarrou becomes ill, realizes that he's going to keep him at home, out of the clinics, and agrees to tell Tarrou the whole truth about what is going on, and is honest with him. Tarrou also honest with him, saying that he is worried he will not survive, but that if he does not make it, he wants to die in the best way possible, right? And for the most part, right, we see Tarrou wage this battle against the plague with a bravery, very much like Panelou, but in a different way. Panelou has, right, his faith to meditate on. Tarrou has friendship and the idea that he has spent time with Rieux, he has worked in the plague hospitals. He has done what he's needed to do to feel like he has been responsible, right? He has wrestled with that anxiety. He has wrestled with that doubt and with the sort of existential dread. And Rieux sees, right, that the death of patients, right, still affects him, right? That this is a patient but also a friend who's going to die. He also, right, Rieux finds out that his wife has died immediately afterwards, right? It's just a pile-on of terrible things happening. And I think that what we see here is that this is a moment where we truly can wonder, right, when is a person's faith in their own responsibility and the things that they have been doing, can it be shaken? When is it shaken? Rieux reacts to this in the same way he reacts to almost everything, with certainly frustration. He is angry, he is sad that he has lost a friend, but he also, as a doctor, as a person who has sort of agreed to see the world in a certain way, continues to see it in that way. I think that one of the things that we can assume a little bit of is that Rieux and Tarrou have put their faith in themselves, in a way, right? They have not put their faith in other people necessarily. Certainly they put their faith in the possibility of science presenting a cure, right? I mean, that's one thing, but they do not, have a religious faith. They do not have, faith that other people are going to fix things. They believe that they are the only people who can do what they do, right? Not that they're all powerful, but that they can control what they can control, and that they can give medicine, so they can give comfort, they can be there for other people. when Tarrou dies, it is not a moment where he's going to lose faith in anything, because he has put his faith in himself and he knows that he has fought the best that he can, right? It's a way of looking at it, right, that is, for somebody who may subscribe to a religion, right, perhaps a not as positive of a thing, but for Rieux and for Tarrou, there is no God to lose faith in. There is no religion to lose faith in. There is no humanity necessarily to lose faith in at this point in time, because that has nothing to do with it. It is disease, it is a terrible thing, and it does not distinguish, right, between sinners, saints, right, anything like that. And so Rieux's frustration is simply at life itself, right? And I think that's where, in a way, I want to end this part, this part of the discussion, right, on the plague and on the book, right? There are other characters that we didn't really get to talk about as much. There are aspects of the book that I certainly hope that you're going to be discussing in your group that will, be reflected in some of the discussion questions for the week. But the overall important thing that I think we can take away from this book is this idea that when we remove the idea of faith and outside things from the equation and allow it simply to be ourselves, our responsibilities, our actions, that we are better able to deal with life, right? The book shows that Rieux, instead of being disappointed and losing faith in anything, is simply able to say that this is how life can be, and that this is the beginning for us of what we're going to be talking about with the absurd. That there is no answer to give when children die of disease, of when Tarrou, who has done so much, right, dies of this disease. When Rieux, who has done so much, right, loses friends and family to disease and to depression, right? That this is simply a part of life, right? And that our only response to it can be, according to Camus, according to Sartre, according to existentialism and absurdism, is to fight by being ourselves, by being the best versions of ourselves that we can be, by being responsible for ourselves, and by saying that we must be content with what we have, right? Is it the best philosophy to have? Truly up to you, right? I enjoy this literature. I enjoy the thought processes that go along with it, but I do find that there is a little bit of a negative undercurrent, right? That I can't quite convince myself is really the best thing to do. It is interesting to explore. It is interesting to read through. But for me personally, I'm not going to become an existentialist or absurdist anytime soon. That said, of course, right, we'll continue to discuss as we go through. So the next video that we're going to do, we're probably going to talk a little bit more about where we go after this. So stay tuned.